This time we're moving our focus towards Xi'an. Team WE versus Invictus Gaming, a rivalry as old as time itself. The two of the oldest Chinese organizations now going up against each other.
Yeah, and it's great to see it in Xi'an as well, one of the old capitals of China, because of course this goes way, way back. You know, IPL 5, the fact that this is pretty much the very first championship matchup that we have in the Chinese region of the LPL, that is very high.
Small introduction, of course, Parenteraz Mohammed, Jimmy. Oh my goodness, I was about to call you hysterics. Jimmy Preacher Fu. Jimmy Preacher Fu. That's
Is it the fact that we're both Australian?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay,
That's exactly what it is. You guys are basically in one of the same anyways. It's like Voldemort in the first movie. Just turn your head and suddenly it's this preacher looking at you.
I'm leaving you with that one,
I love it. Love it. Anyways, back to the point at hand here, which is Invictus Gaming versus Team WE. Going up against each other since before the LPL even existed, but we have our LPL stats, the amount of times that they've gone up against each other. The game score is actually even. 25-25, because it was Team WE that came into this split incredibly strong, or at least the LPL strong. They had their 2017 revival as well, but Invictus Gaming has been a pretty dominant team as of late.
Yeah, I know. IG was falling down a little bit, but now finally back in form. That's what we like to see, and especially up against the old rivals. It couldn't be fast enough. Of course, they've got their roster. The core roster is still here, but WE coming into 2019, they lost some key members.
Yeah, Team WE. I guess we can talk about it. Geoman is going to be coming in as the AD carry for the squad instead of Mystic. They do this. How do you feel? I mean, I'm going to... How are you feeling? Let's turn this into a psychiatric thing. Yes.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, Raz, I am confused as all hell because I have no idea. I've never seen this name before, so I believe that you've seen him a couple of times.
He's played. He's already shown his face in the LPL, thankfully, but he is coming in from the LDL. He's played himself a few games there, but we've had this situation from Team WE in the past. It's not an isolated incident. In fact, last split, they were kind of more so last year, summer split. They were doing this whole thing where they had Imp, they had Gentle. They have a lot of people within the ranks because Team WE has, multiple squads, academy squads that is, that they kind of train back up. But if we're just talking about the two members that you look towards in Team WE and you know that they will be successful, their all-star talent is xiye and Mystic. Don't like the fact that Mystic is being benched on this one. No,
yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I don't really know the reason behind it, but we'll have to see if Juman can actually perform onto this stage because he's into JakeyLove and Baolan. Now, when we talk about that bottom lane, not exactly the strongest within the LPL, but they hold their own. It's just that is really the weak side of where IG plays. So if you want to really contrast that play style, then maybe you put your priority onto the bottom lane.
I would say, we're seeing the bottom lane of Invictus Gaming is top 5 right now. JakeyLove, especially after how hard they got memed for in the International and MSI, it was actually JakeyLove and Rookie that performed the best. And when Rookie was no longer playing in this the summer split because of those unfortunate circumstances that happened in his family, it was actually JakeyLove that came in and stepped up. And I love the fact that he was able to grow, second year into the league. But you're right on the fact that, and this is what's going to be interesting to watch, they're still the weak side of the map. They still play towards TheShy and Rookie. So he's going to be receiving the least amount of resources, and he's going to be going up against a Team WE that plays through mid and bottom.
I was just about to touch on that as well, because of course they stepped up. It's very easy to when Ning heavily focuses on your side of the map. And look, I can't take any attention away from Forge, so we'll just give him some credit there. However, the fact that Rookie is back and the fact that he's demanding resources once again, it might put JakeyLove in the same situation as before when Rookie departed. Rookie departed.
You're right. Maybe just going back to the whole hold still, don't get killed.
Maybe the dynamic.
Sona Tom Kench comes back. Maybe hope not. We want to see some action coming into this game. But for Team WE, we're going to be in Xi'an, of course, a team that, while we talked about the game-to-game historical LPL matchup, 25-25, you expect them to be losing versus Invictus Gaming. Invictus Gaming especially finding that fire, taking that first win, the first loss for FPX. FPX, first loss to the split that they got was to IG. What expectation do you have of Team WE going into this set?
So obviously the rivalry is definitely going to kick them into gear, but look, you can't really... At some point, you have to call it as it is, right? Now, IG is maybe sitting a little bit below where they should be given their current performance. They are number 4 in our ladder, but they are versing WE, who's number 12, and they are down there for some very good reasons. They haven't really climbed back ever since playoffs of the spring split, and honestly, Jumin might be able to be that Band-Aid, but just because I haven't seen him perform, I can't say that as a definite.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just talking about expectations for Team WE, I don't expect too much. I think, you know, go towards the gold medalist in xiye and essentially try and get him out of laning phase. I want to be able to see that because at the end of the day, the early game is still heavily xiye and beishang-centric. So that's going to be able to be fun to see if Team WE can grow and perform based off those two players alone. But yeah, I mean, right now I'm looking towards Invictus Gaming. You've already mentioned how daunting of a task it is for Team WE. IG coming in. What do you expect to be the primary changes within the meta? We haven't had too much of a discussion about 9.14. What do you want to see as an adaptation coming in from this team?
I didn't like the Sylas bans from the very first series that we saw today, just because I think the Sylas has dropped down way too far inside of the jungle. His ultimate has a bigger cooldown. He can't even tank up the camps because his shield is a magic shield now, not even tanking up physical damage. And just the fact that all of his damages are down as well, you're obviously picking him up for the fact that he's a jack of all trades with his ulti, but the fact that he can't even get 2 to 3 off every single team fight means that he is so far down the list that I would prefer something like a Sejuani or even a J4. I mean, I love the J4 and I love to see the engage, especially because IG is so lane focused as a team.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the interesting thing about Sylas, you did talk about the changes that he had, pretty heavily a jungler. We're starting to see him a lot more coming in. I'm just talking about solo queue specifically coming in as a solo laner. So I think you can actually now comfortably playing him in 3 lanes. So I want to see a little bit more of him because at the end of the day, not a lot of people have completely figured out the meta. But not only the changes, as you mentioned, not the fact that he can shield against all magic damage for 2 seconds on his Ubskun, but then also the Q changes are interesting. So we're seeing a lot more maxing Qs because, you know, not only did they buff the damage on that, the scaling as well. So and also his passive got a change, so now it's easier to wave clear off his passive when they completely took it away from him. So every single time you had Sylas in a solo lane, post those changes, he was getting consistently shoved in every matchup. This time around, it might be a different one. That's why I want to see a little bit more of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's shifting his power, but of course, he did still have the nerf previously where his laning was so heavily hit. So ultimately, I think that it's going to be a change where I don't expect to see him. But given the fact that he was so heavily prioritized in the ban phase of the first series, we might just see that reappear once again.
I definitely, I would personally expect to see him a lot, especially off of you know, what XL was able to accomplish in the LEC. So shout out to XL getting their first 2 a week. And a lot of that was based off of K-Drill's Sylas performance. So I think he's, to your point, that ultimate is still pretty damn strong.
Yep.
You still got that rolling for you.
And don't forget, the rookie, his most played champion this split, is still Sylas, even after the nerfs. I mean, he didn't pick it up after the nerfs, but it's just testament to how many times he picked it up. xiye is still a good Sylas player as well.
Yeah, so definitely expecting that. The Kennen getting buffed too, going into the top lane. We already saw how heavily the TheShy wanted to play AD Nico. That one got nerfed because of the movement speed getting nerfed and the base AD. But Kennen got a dagger's worth of attack speed on his E.
Yeah.
So like that's pretty awesome to be able to see, and maybe he brings that one back.
Of course, yeah, and also the movement speed buff onto the Kennen means that the TheShy is better than ever. Whenever you see him in the top lane sort of fumble for what sort of picks that he wants, especially if it's the last rotation, leaving that up to the TheShy, then he's usually prioritized it.
Taking a look at Team WE's roster here, pose up in the top lane, beishang in the jungle, xiye, gold medalist in the mid lane, Jumin in the AD carry taking over Mystic, and the bottom side of the map we're seeing missing.
Yeah, so we have to see where the core of the roster goes, because they've still got 4 of the members that they played with all this time, and now going into IG is just a surprise factor bringing in a new member. IG can't necessarily prepare for it in time.
Remember, this is Team WE's venue, even though Invictus Gaming are the world champions coming into this, taking a victory off of FPX. You still have a large amount of the fans that are going to be cheering for Team WE. Now on Weibo, they have some great power rankings that is dominated by just, you know, fan voting.
Of course.
And Team WE are 5th place. They still have the massive amount of fans, even with the current failures that they've been having. But taking a look at Invictus Gaming, roster's not changing there. The TheShy in the top lane. Jungle, you have Ning. In the mid lane, you got the rookie. The rookie, you're going to say the for every damn player.
Rookie, there we go.
And you got the bottom side of the map, JakeyLove and Baolan.
So once again, an uphill battle just because IG is sitting at number 4 in the standings. But like I alluded to, I would like to see them sit much higher. And the very first thing that they could do about it, at the very least today, is to take their opponents in WE.
Now as we introduce, hey,
get over here.
Get over here. Ah, he's not looking. He's not looking. It's okay. Rookie was trying to direct as he usually does on stage. Not going to happen. And you see Coach Kim Karam, their coach, coming into this one. It's going to be fun to be able to see what compositions we're getting out of Invictus Gaming. But to remind everybody, this is Xi'an, the venue for Team WE. As you can see, the iconic walls of Xi'an that you come in. If you're a tourist of the Xi'an, you will be able to enjoy the protective military walls of 14th century, I think it was built in. The gates also, so if you want to like walk through those gates, I mean, the players are doing it. You can too if you end up getting that trip. You know what? I should be hired by the government. Honestly, I should. Hire me.
You were selling it, right?
Yeah.
You were selling it hardcore, but they've also got this Terracotta Warriors over there, so let's just see if they can actually get a very good conformity as to their picks and bans.
If we got some Warriors, maybe it's Xin Zhao coming in for Beishang. I mean, Beishang, early game bridging junglers, we saw in the last series. He is a phenomenal Olaf, Xin Zhao. You want to be able to see him getting the action going early because, you know, primarily the go-to for Team WE is to get xiye and Mystic to that late game portion. Shouldn't change with Juman coming into the AD carry position. I still feel like Team WE has some great talent as AD carries. It's more so now you have to second guess the effectiveness of those team fights. How, you know, well are they going to perform when they get into it, with Mystic being, you know, easily top 5 AD carries performing in the split, not performing, as you can see, change in positions.
Yeah, and I would also just take it back one step and say, how well would this bottom lane perform overall? Will it actually be one of the higher ranking bot lanes of the LPL? Because, of course, within this patch, another buff that we've got is Jhin, and Jhin is very strong. So if Juman can actually pull out some unconventional carries that we haven't seen in quite a while, then he might just be able to take IG by surprise just from the playstyle.
Easily, easily. I want to be able to see what they've been kind of working on. We saw the lethal tempo Varus in the last series. I expect, you know, if Jumeng is going to be coming into this one, kind of taking control of the laning phase and surprising Invictus Gaming. Would love to see the lethality of Varus, just how strong it's able to work against the Caitlyn. And we've been seeing a lot of Caitlyn Lux in the LPL. 9.13. We still need to see what the priority here is in the bottom lane, and 9.14 with the changes to Lux.
Yeah, and just before we come into champs, like, one of the things that I really fear for WE is that you just cannot pin down IG in terms of what exactly you want to ban away. So obviously, very strong meta bans are on the table. However, if you want to go for targeted bans, they practically don't exist because everybody has a plethora of champions to draw from.
Yeah, that's why whenever it comes to xiye, now, here's the fun fact. Not a lot of people would want to see, you know, the Corki versus Azir handshake, but even outside of the Corki meta, xiye plays Corki. He is a phenomenal Corki player. There is a team that wants to get to the late game, and if we're looking at this patch and how it's naturally elongated the early laning phase and the game time itself, that is when Team WE tends to thrive.
That's it, and also just having the sense of when your package is up so you get good back timings and you can actually influence the two side lanes. That's really what we need to look forward to. I mean, xiye, if he just wants to stay in the 1v1 situation against Rookie, it's going to be very difficult for himself. He's playing against arguably one of the best mid laners in the world, so the fact that he could pick up a Roma as a mid laner just because it is well within his kit means that he can actually get out of that 1v1 lockdown and he can actually start influencing other parts of the map.
Player that you currently see on your screen, Missing. Now, Missing is going to be a fun one. We're going to actually be hearing from him. Let's see what he says. Wow, a lot of respect from Missing. Now, if you guys have been watching and listening in to a lot of the, you know, mic checks that the LPL has, Missing blows your ears out. You actually just need to turn the volume down when it comes to just if you have headphones in, because he is somebody who gets hyped in team fights, so he's somebody that wants to start them. He's a great Thresh player, and going up against Baolan, he even says he has a lot of respect for him, has that Rakan skin to his name as a world champion. I want to see if he can take him down.
Yeah, and he's an even better Alistar player in my mind. I mean, he's played 4 games of it within the LPL Summer Split, and he's won every single one of them. So obviously Engage is always on his mind. He's always looking for creative ways to start team fights, and not even team fights, just picks for his team so they can get ahead incrementally. And it's good to see him be so vocal because he knows exactly what those windows are.
接下来我们对阵 WE 的话，就是我们的状态也是现在基本都是赢的局的话都是会就是1比1，先打个1比1，然后最后一把再拿下，然后他们也是这样，所以我们跟他们打起来的话，就是会打得怎么样还真不好说。
You can hear from the fans, and honestly, I agree with them. It's kind of crazy when Team WE goes up against, you know, EDGs or in this case Invictus Gaming. No matter how poorly this team is in the standings, they go to that third game. Now, as he mentioned in that one pretty clearly, it didn't get to the third game. He was like, it almost. They almost took a game. So it's going to be competitive. As you can see, Coach Dog 8 coming in from Victory 5 from Split 1 to Split 2. He's been actually putting in a lot of work. Initially, Wei Xiao, the initial AD carry for this team in their glory days of Season 2, was their coach. But because of health reasons, stepped down and is now allowing the new wave of coaching and players for Team WE to move forward.
Yeah, and the most important thing coming into this matchup as well is also the fact that if WE can actually take down their opponents in IG, then they've got a very easy run afterwards. So this is the last big hurdle for them.
All right, we're in pick and ban. Sion, 9.14, and as a reminder, no Jace, no Talia, no Mordekaiser have been globally banned. So going to be sad for xiye and Rookie. Actually, both great Jace players.
That's what I was about to say. Not to mention that Rookie had a stellar performance on the Talia as well. Not going to be available, but this is extremely quick, and I like it just... Oh, what are we waiting for?
No, I'm just like the Karma actually escaped the pick and ban.
Of course, yeah. That's really surprising. I was about to talk about the fact that it's constantly banned away from pretty much every single round, but IG managed to pick it up first rotation.
Might see a pivot from Invictus Gaming. They as a squad believe that they can play through all three lanes. That even though primarily they end up, going up top side, that Ning ends up helping out Rookie and TheShy. Especially at MSI, we saw them trying to carry through JakeyLove, and they were able to accomplish that for the most part. And now, seeing the first three picks from Invictus Gaming, Corki, Karma, and the Gragas. The Gragas being locked in for Ning. So, I'm going to be able to see what Team WE can respond to that with. Yes!
I would love to see it. Oh, without a doubt, xiye actually locks it in. And I was just about to mention the fact that he's actually got his hands onto Qiyana 4 times within the LPL already. So, how do you even do that? Who knows? But it's number 5 coming up right now.
They're just not putting respect on his name on this one. 60% win ratio in the LPL. And xiye has had some amazing moments with this champion. So if the initial game plan was free xiye, allow him to thrive, to flourish, this will do just that.
Look, a lot of the power is actually taken out just because of the player matchup. Rookie has also played Qiyana as well, so he definitely knows the numbers on that assassin. So obviously you shouldn't be expecting any solo dying in a straight 1v1 matchup.
Obviously, it seems like we're having some tech issues, but we're right back at it. You haven't missed literally nothing. So, Evolution being banned on the second phase by Team WE. The Varus on the side of Invictus Gaming. Obviously, both teams are trying to get an AD carry, but it's going to be Team WE that has the first chip at things, as they'll be the first pick in second phase.
Yeah, so if nothing's going to be taken off, then obviously Ezreal is a top priority, especially with the Tahm Kench. It means that you're never just going to be ganked inside of that lane. And I'm going to be saying it right now. I'm very confident in the fact that Tahm Kench hasn't been nerfed for his core purpose of actually just saving your ADC. So still very great in the lane.
Seems like all IG wanted to do was take the Varus and Tahm Kench lane away from Team WE. They didn't want to ban any more AD carries. They recognized that JakeyLove still has his. Remember, he's an iconic Draven player, and we've been seeing Draven so far in two regions. Not only did we see it from Origin coming in the LEC recently, just last night, but also this morning you saw it being picked up by Optics. So still that pick. Of course, already got locked in. It's the Ezreal coming in for JakeyLove.
Yeah, so it's going to be very good for his laning phase at the very least, but I actually like the composition that's coming out from WE so far. Usually when you see, when you talk about Chi strats with an Ashe, it's an Ashe arrow with the TP, but you've even got the Tahm Kench ultimate, so you can follow up to teamfights with a very long duration stun, and that's going to be available for WE for long range engages.
We see the full composition from Invictus Gaming. That's going to be a Jarvan picked up. Looks like it's going to be thrown up into... This is going to be interesting. It'll be fun to see where he ends up going, because you would expect it to be jungle Jarvan. Okay, we'll find out.
Keep in mind, we've also seen a Jarvan support.
Yeah, we've literally seen all of the above, right? Yeah. And the Karma is also thrown into the mix. So we'll get a full view of what Invictus Gaming are running in the last 20 seconds, but at least we know Team WE's response. It's Rumble top lane for Post. That's the pick that he started playing with when he first joined the team, and now he's back at it.
Yeah, so it's going to be a really good range matchup into the Karma. Obviously, Karma has a longer range, so she will have the natural advantage. It's not really a counter in any sense, though, so it's not going to be too difficult in the top side. One thing that I want to mention, now that we're seeing the bot lane really stick to the Gragas support, I love it into the Tahm Kench, because usually the advantage is you eat up your ADC and walk to safety. Can't do that if you bust it straight back.
That's true. The cask has always been that solution. In fact, two great supports in the league have been phenomenal on the Gragas, and I'm talking about both Ming and Mako. Both historic Gragas players, and they pick it going up against the Tom Kench nearly every time, you know, back in those days. So this time round, you're seeing that response come in. Team WE has that response.
Yeah, so obviously Team WE, they will have exactly what they're looking for inside of the laning phase. But we're just talking about the matchups all around. It looks as if IG, they want to once again coincidentally dominate lane and then get very good mid-game team fights out of it.
Capacity crowd now.
That is it.
1,000 seats are available, and it seems like the only ones that are open and not filled are the ones that are in the way of the cameraman. So the cameraman says, move the hell back. I want a clear shot of this one. Invictus Gaming versus Team WE. Take a look at the compositions before we get into game one.
Yeah, so far it just looks as if IG, they want to get natural priority as well. Ning has very good avenues into all 3 lanes in order to influence them just because of the lockdown and the lack of escapes.
Now you wanted to see more action. Baolan on the Gragas pick is going to be just that alongside Ning's J4. Want to see what they can end up doing. You expect that to be a klepto, perhaps there for TheShy. A lot there that Invictus Gaming has early on in this game.
Just going to have to see how they exactly execute it. Now, obviously, beishang can take it way towards Ning, but that's just the 1v1 that we're speaking about, really. He has to influence the rest of his lanes while he's looking towards doing so.
And for me, there is one pick that I care the most about. You know, for Team WE, that one man that's going to be carrying them over the hurdle. To the finishing line, hopefully, it's going to be xiye. Yeah. Xie's got himself the Qiyana for what, the nth time. Not getting banned away from him. You expect there to be some errors on stage. We'll clue in and see what's been happening and how long that'll take. But we can talk about the Qiyana a little bit more.
Of course. Now, when we talk about Xie's Qiyana, we say that he has 4 games of it in the LPL Summer Split. However, one thing that we forgot to mention, only 1 victory on it. So naturally that's going to happen just because WE haven't been picking up that many victories recently. But it also does mean that if they want to play towards this sort of play style, they need to know their numbers off by heart and know exactly when to roam in order to execute with the assassin damage. Yeah,
they certainly need to find that level of consistency. The last time we saw Team WE play, they went up against BLG. That was where the Qiyana was also picked up there. They played the Qiyana. They had a great dragon fight to start the series off, and they ended up getting, you know, losing anyways. They actually continuously lost, got picked out multiple times when, you know, they initially used their flash to be able to get a kill. So I think the team, as hot-blooded as they are, as willing as they are to pick up fights, they need to be able to play consistently, more patiently to get themselves to that end game mark.
Consistency is the name of the game. They lost their last series 2-0 against BLG. However, on the other side, IG are on a 3-game winning streak. They're looking very fine form, so they're looking to continue it this time with their age-old rivals in WE.
Yeah, I want to see what IG ends up throwing our way, because we talk about the rivalry between both these teams. It's more about the organizations. It's more about the players that went up against each other in Season 2 that are going to be watching this. A lot of them successful streamers. I'm talking about, you know, Taomei, Messiah, Wei Xiao is certainly, you got to believe that. I don't know what streaming platform he's currently on. He moves from one to another, but they can and they're allowed to, you know, restream and provide their own commentary. So for the Chinese side, if you're looking on that side of the spectrum, they are certainly excited to see those old players look back on that kind of reignite rivalry.
That's really it. And coming into this one, it is up for stakes. Look, it's not as close as it was at the start of the rivalry.
Not even close to being close.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so we keep on whenever we talk about this matchup, we always have to come back to the fact that it's number 4 versus number 12, but WE still got a good time ahead of them.
It reminds me of the end of 2017. It was when, you know, Team WE was making that stint to Worlds. And honestly, TheShy was looking so much better, and Invictus Gaming versus Team WE was the Gauntlet Finals. It was so close to be able to see that IG make it to an international. They didn't. And it was that preseason that they were able to utilize JakeyLove. He was available to play. He was old enough to go for it. And the moment he was is when the tides turned in favor of Invictus Gaming historically. So, I mean, we'll find out what's happening on stage. We'll get that update. We'll be able to send it your way when we do. But for Invictus Gaming to essentially not look back since that point, since the end of 2017, it sucks for Team WE, flatly put. And for IG, they're looking for, you know, that second run with Worlds coming up. defending champions, they want to be able to make it back there.
And I love how you highlighted TheShy stepping up as well, because the last time that he played up against FPX, his Vladimir was a standout performance. Guess which champ is very close to Vladimir? It is, of course, the Karma, and he's on it right now. Sustaining very long-range poke in lane as well. He's going to be such a nuisance. Into the Rumble, it is a very decent matchup into the Karma. Karma herself got buffs in terms of the root duration, slow percentage, and also her shield. So looking very good in 9-14.
I want to see what she ends up picking up as the keystone. Because a lot of the times you'll see Karma within these lanes that are far easier for her to pick up Klepto, get as much free gold as possible, and then get to the mid game just completely stacked. Not only were you shoving into the, in this case, the Rumble, most matchups, so you have the CS advantage, you now have the Klepto gold advantage, all of that going in your favor, and then you can play towards your AD carry. So I want to be able to see if Invictus Gaming can get that going for themselves.
Yeah, so obviously shove is going to be hard because Rumble can always push it back, but yes, Klepto is what we definitely need to be talking about, because into a melee matchup, for the most part, Rumble can't really step forward, and if he does, Tether just absolutely wrecks his day. Then the auto attacks coming out with Kleptomancy should be propelling him very far forward. Now, it's really the 2-item power spike that we see Karma really prevail. Whatever the first item is, the second one's usually Athene's Unholy Grail, and that's really the power spike.
Yeah, you're right. Depends on the player. A lot of the times it really depends on how much they value the early game damage. So Luden's Echo is, you know, a big point of focus. A lot of the times, if you're heavily focusing on, you know, providing damage for your early support for your carries, you'll just go straight towards the Ardent Sensor and early Athene's Unholy Grail. That's not the type of person who you know, TheShy is. Yeah,
I don't expect to see TheShy do that. I expect to see him go gung-ho, especially into Post, who's on a Rumble. Of course, you never want to expend that ultimate in lane, so TheShy is going to be looking to punish that at all times to see if he can take the 1v1 constantly, to make sure that he's always a nuisance against Post, and to make sure that Post can never get to his item spikes to actually use his ulti.
Yeah, we have a little bit of time here, Preacher. Just as I say that, we literally have 0 time, Preacher.
Nice.
Okay, we're back at it. We'll see if we get any more pauses on the way over. But man, it's incredibly hot in Xi'an right now. It's definitely hot in Shanghai. Currently 35 degrees Celsius for all you Americans. I'm sorry for your loss. As we go into the first game of the series, Team WE going up against Invictus Gaming. Full capacity crowd here. Not only do they have the hometown favorites of Team WE, but they have the current world champions in Invictus Gaming, so good reason for it. Last time I checked, which was super early on, I heard that, yes, it is a 1,000 seat crowd, but they were at the time only using 900 seats. I don't know why, but believe that must have changed now. So, yep, Team WE and Xi'an have the largest available seats of all of the LPL venues. And good reason when you have fan favorites like these.
Yeah, and coming into this match as well, they're going to need every single voice that they can. So far, they're looking down the barrel, not only in terms of the matchup against IG, but also for the individual laners alone. Every single lane looks toward, slightly tilted towards IG, so they're going to need the help of their fans and also beishang.
Early cheese, just a little bit of damage from TheShy. Doesn't actually amount to much, but taking a look at the keystones, you can see Rookie getting Klepto for himself. So looks at the matchup, and reasonably so. Early matchup should be great for trades here from the Corki, so he's going to try and benefit as much as he can. That's going to be triple Klepto from Invictus Gaming.
The money-making build works to the point if you can get to your 2-item power spikes so much faster than your opponents. However,
we're making fat stacks here.
Yeah, but because beishang is on an early game ganking jungler, he could definitely influence these waves. And without a proper keystone for combat, that could be the turning point that actually gets WE the early game advantage. Now, there's a lot of damage that comes out from all of his lanes, so naturally providing the CC works out just fine.
As we can see the early pathing on that one now. Sejuani was seen when she started on her red buff, so very smart for her to go straight like buff, Raptors to buff. So just in case Ning ends up contesting, good reason for him to contest with the fact that his lanes are outright just shoving out. But he's going to be safe. Beishang's going to be completely fine to be able to just completely just farm up.
There's one advantage that beishang has over Ning, and that's the fact that he can go for a gank without his first back. However, Ning always certainly needs to go for his first back. So the advantage going over to beishang in the early game, if he chooses to take it, obviously he can't focus on the bottom side because his side is pushing up so heavily with the Ash W, though.
I like what xiye is doing here. When he's trading back and forcing Rookie, he's using, Bush element. So there's no way for Rookie to actually trade back. I mean, even if you can use Phosphorus Bomb, you certainly can't auto him. So the fact that we're looking at that matchup and saying that it was heavily in favor of Rookie, he came into this matchup recognizing he doesn't need to take fleet footwork. Suddenly he's actually on the losing side of these trades.
Yeah, actually losing out, but still coming out ahead in terms of CS. So we'll always have to keep our eyes onto that. Corki's going to have a really good time in forcing xiye back, and xiye does not have teleport, obviously, because he's playing an assassin right now. So these back timers are going to be very uneven for him.
All right. Not only was the CS advantage there from Rookie to begin with, but now able to take this entire wave. Yeah. Certainly a problem here for the Qiyana, but Qiyana's been in this position consistently. In fact, that's just the expectation for her to be in one of these matchups, losing matchups. A good example is we've seen a lot Qiyana versus Azir. Yep. And Azir a lot of the times just has the pressure, the range, will have the higher CS. But then when it comes to that first fight, post 6, you just have so much damage that you have to avoid. And so that's the concern here. You go up against Team WE, they have a lot of level 6 in their composition. You got the Rumble ultimate, the Sejuani ult. I mean, I literally can name them all, and they just outright trump Invictus Gaming's.
Yeah, so that's really what I'm interested in, especially the meta coming into 9.14. I think you made a really good point how no players have really 100% figured out the meta right now, and that is primarily due to the fact that we still see Corki as here, even though so many assassins got buffed. Assassins are the natural counter to both of those two champions, so now that we see xiye on Qiyana, just because he's played so many games on this champion as well, he has to be the pressure point that we have to see if it is actually stronger than the two current late scalers.
Okay.
I want to see if it's...
Which champion are you thinking about a little bit more other than the Qiyana?
I mean, I also just like to see the Akali. We saw it in the previous series. The Akali is very strong with her buffs. So those number advantages, especially on the Q.
Okay, xiye going in. He does have a little bit of help with beishang, though. Flash being used by Rookie. Take a look at this. A lot of damage coming through in the bot side of the map that JakeyLove and Baolan were just being, positively ahead. Yeah. And a small thing, we talk about how the ultimate interaction does work out with Tahm Kench when he has someone in his belly, but I mean, a lot of the times you see Gragas when he picked into the Braum is, well, kind of, in the laning phase simply because that Q damage will help him out. So essentially, I mean, you can come into the lane. Okay, speaking of lane, that's a lot. He ends up getting out of there so close to the wall, but does escape.
Pushing the ultimate up instead of actually towards the side, so he doesn't pick up the kill, but definitely forcing Rookie to play safe.
Small skirmish, xiye is going to be able to come in and help. Let's see if they can fully commit to this one as a small slope comes on towards Ning. He's just pushed away from his Raptors, but once again, Jiameng is actually just in a bad position, all in from JakeyLove, but he might die before him. First blood is actually going to JakeyLove.
Doesn't even care, Raz. He goes straight forward, even uses his E and flash forward to take down Jiameng. Takes a little while to get to him and eventually gives back his own life, but it's worth because it's first blood and you get more gold.
How sad is this of a game for Jiameng? He comes in for Mystic and he's already getting harassed pretty consistently. He's having a bad game, to be frank. We haven't seen the context for it just as well. Perhaps it's just the slow coming through on Baolan, followed up by the Q damage from JakeyLove, but interaction is not working out in favor of an all-in there. This has just been rough here from... Oh my god, and the Rumble ultimate to boot. Post with a fantastic roam.
Yeah, Post coming out just in time, and xiye coordinates it as well. As soon as he knows the damages, he goes in, just wants to poke Rookie out so that the ultimate can finish him. However, Rookie actually dashes forward, condemns his own fate.
Ning doesn't see it happening, sadly. Of course, was just completely deked out. It's nice to see this from Post. Usually isolated up in the top lane, but when you go up against greats, when you're going up against some tough competition, you match them, and we're currently seeing out of Team WE.
Man, Ning does this in every single game. Let's actually take a look at bot lane to see how it happens. Watch Baolan. He goes in with the Ignite as well, gets saved up by the Tahm Kench with the Guardian, so he starts walking back in, but JakeyLove immediately flashes forward. Can't actually land any Qs, but the W and the autos just manages to pick up the first blood.
The saddest thing for the Ezreal was that there was literally a minion in between him and the Ashe, and so the Q literally wasn't going to do the job. That's pretty sad. I feel bad for JakeyLove on that one. Feel even worse for Jiameng. No mana was there for Missing, so it was pretty long for him to be able to get that W and help out his AD carry. But you can already see it's Jumong and Missing really suffering here. But speaking of suffering, looks like the possibility for an all-in. Sejuani is there looming over to see if they can get an opportunity on TheShy.
Yeah, beishang wants this, and Ning is nowhere nearby. TheShy actually doesn't know. He stepped a little bit too far forward, so he has to have some sense that there's a little bit of aggression just because post is low.
Going right in, but a flash comes through from TheShy. Instant. Perfect timing.
Great response from TheShy to negate that gank from beishang. So beishang spends a lot of time, doesn't actually want to go get priority over the Rift Herald. Obviously, the Rift Herald isn't even up, so loses a lot of time on the farming game against Ning.
All right, Post is coming back twice. Let's see if he gets another one. But he walked over a control ward, and he didn't see it either. But sends out his ultimate. Let's see what they can end up getting. And a great ultimate all towards the wall, too. You may have seen him coming, but you couldn't see that one.
I mean, it's just a straight numbers, Raz. Even though you know that your opposing top laner is coming down for a return gank, there's nothing you could do when Qiyana pushes you into a wall, you get stunned up, and she just uses every other ability.
All in coming through, and xiye is going to take a considerable amount of damage, ends up dying, so that Ning will still end up getting it. Buffers the EQ, you'd have to believe. Gets out, but this has been a rough game from Rookie.
Wow, and that is just beautiful to see.
He's coming right back. You can see Ezreal, and it's actually a full committal coming in from Invictus Gaming, so beishang needs to get out of there. Misses the ultimate, expected something. I don't know what he expected, but at least JakeyLove will get the ultimate.
Yeah, misses the ultimate, but it still works out for him anyway. JakeyLove, being the sniper of his team, actually standing still for a hot 5 seconds just to land the ulti.
Oh, they're going all in. Ezreal underneath turret. He's going to be taking a considerable amount of damage. Just one. There we go, and gets the kill. But Jumong takes the full turret off. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, he was taking the turret. Here's Balan.
Yeah, this is just going to be Invictus Gaming cleaning up on this one. Hey, Missing might be able to get... Nah, I won't even be close. But an all-in to get the kill on JakeyLove. Good job from Team WE, but they just didn't have an escape strategy, so they ended up both dying for their trouble.
Very aggro, and more to the point, the kill went over to Missing, Raz. So not even going over to Juman. That is very feels bad. Not even going to be on the same power spike. We get to see Rookie being outplayed here. He knows roughly that Post is over here. Must assume that he's backing, but the ultimate clips him. The DOT is ticking, and that's all that xiye really needed in order to just 100-0 him. The flash coming out from Post, not even needed. This is a nice bait that ultimately came out from Ning because he knew that Gragas was coming along. Baoland gets it. He didn't anticipate that beishang just wasn't going to move throughout all of that, but watch JakeyLove's ulti. That was a 3-man.
Pretty easy to be able to see that one, so great from JakeyLove to get the ultimate across. And even better from Ning, honestly. You're right. A great bait. Just stick around, have vision on him. You know that your team's coming through. You look at the minimap, and it's the Sejuani getting collapsed on. So we're just taking a look at flat lead, the goal lead Invictus Gaming have on both fronts. Not only do they have more kills, the CS advantage is certainly piling up in the top side of the map. But on top of that, the first blood is the one that really started this one going in JakeyLove. So we'll have to see if there's much of a response here from Team WE.
I'll take it even further and say that the 2 kills that went over to Missing doesn't ultimately count in the middle of a team fight. So even more of a goal discrepancy for those two. And Ezreal, a champion that's usually very weak because he needs to stack his tier early on, so it's an 850 gold sink. He's looking like he hasn't sunk any gold at all in this matchup.
I will say one thing. A great point for Team WE is going to be xiye. Because although, you know, Rumble got caught on that ward, how do you actually play against what is him just using ultimate and setting up xiye in the lane? xiye still has flash, and he's now pretty much taking control of the lane. He could come towards the bot side of the map, which could be the next point of action. Ning is looming over.
Yeah, but there are 2 wards, so either way he goes, he's spotted out.
All right, yeah, you're right. On vision on that one. They thought they could slow down the Tahm Kench, but not only do they buy time for their team, ends up getting Rift Herald up in the top side of the map.
Really well played for WE to just disengage and walk backwards, because even if Missing used his W to save Jumong, we were talking about the interaction with Baoland's ultimate as well, would have ultimately died. So IG only pick up a Drake, and it is a Cloud Drake, so not a lot of benefit in comparison to what they gave over in the Rift Herald, and now beishang is dictating the tempo.
You got 2 minutes until turret platings are no more, so you expect the Rift Herald to be used early. You take a look at the composition that Team WE has, and you better be giving it as much as possible to xiye. xiye with double lethality items is going to be something you really can't stop. The amount of damage he's actually outputting on towards the Corki before even having one. He doesn't even have a Dirk. That's it.
He's going for his lifesteal item. What is it? The The Ravenous Hydra.
Yeah, I think he'll just hold on to the Tiamat for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, the fact that he's able to get the Tiamat just for the wave clear, very typical of all of them. But will he hit anybody? No, he doesn't. So JakeyLove's going to be spared on this one. And the Gragas was actually in the second bush. So essentially, if he was on any other sport, maybe you get 3 points. A lot of poke on towards Baolan.
Yeah, but Baolan just wanted to go back, so it's not going to affect him too much. I think this is actually tilting towards IG's favor so well, just because, once again, Ashe ultimate not hitting its mark, Juming not actually using the full potential of what that pickup could have become, and WE not picking up the same benefits that they thought that they would, especially with the dives.
Going to be able to get the turret plating, so that's going to be 80 gold between both Jumong and Missing. Turret plating is going to be gone in 30 seconds time. Please place Rip Herald top lane. You can already see them doing it now. It's going to be going towards the Rumble primarily. It's going to be a race against time. 15 seconds. Get over there.
And TheShy is also backed off, Raz, which means that this is going to be in effect for free and not even trading back on the bottom lane. So still a very good advantage for WE just because they're picking up turret plates for nothing. And they could actually push this even further once the turret plates fall for a first turret.
Fairly surprised that they were essentially giving all of that turret plate and gold over to the Rumble, not throwing a mid to get the early, say, Dusk Blade there for the Qiyana. So we'll have to see what the response is going to be. A lot of damage being put on towards the mid lane turret by Invictus Gaming as a response.
Still, the trade-off is not as strong just because it is a full first turret that went over, but they're looking to fight once again. I mean, every single time we turn our head towards the mid lane, it is always Post roaming his way down, and without a doubt, he's immediately pushing through this wave. Rookie is in a very tricky situation, but Baolan is around.
Gonna try and hold out that mid lane turret, and you can look at Team WE and recognize they're just dispersing. They don't want any part of this one, recognizing that they don't have eyes on Ning, who can just start the fight.
Rookie has been hedged in inside of this game. Normally, when we talk about his strengths, especially seeing his advantage in the FPX series, he rotated towards his bottom side of the map, especially on the Taliyah, now on the Corki with very similar capabilities with the package. Obviously, he hasn't actually been able to use that strength just because constantly pushed in by xiye, doesn't want to lose any of the CS, and the excellent warding from WE on the bot side. All of that works towards Rookie not picking up the advantage that he wants to, although still has fully completed his cull and the Triforce.
Yep. Pushed in both regards, by the way. Pushed with wave and then also pushed into a wall. That's just been the sad part about this. A lot of heavy trading going on to the Rumble, but our primary focus is going to be going on a wonderful stopwatch there from Baolan. It was literally being hit by the Q too. So Jumeng used it so the ultimate wasn't even going to be necessarily seen, but recognized that was going to be a possibility, and all in going on towards xiye. xiye should be able to handle that, but Chunk's pretty low.
Yeah, beishang is now on the forefront.
All in here. Let's see. Teleport coming through. That's Team WE's, but here's another teleport coming in from Invictus Gaming. Should be at a standstill. No team would want to necessarily start the fight. Rumble still has ultimate. Invictus Gaming recognizes that.
Yes, still the top lane is naturally rotated, and more members for IG means that they can push this forward.
Yeah, sends the ultimate down to clear the wave and also takes a chunk off of Baolan, but they still get the mid lane turret, so overall Invictus Gaming flourishes.
However, they traded that turret for the bottom turret, Raz. So, picking up gold onto Juming. It's very unfortunate now that we get a time to stand still and really talk about the impact of the game. There were 2 key moments in which Juming would have almost certainly picked up extra kills from his ultimate, but just being outplayed mechanically by JakeyLove and Baolan respectively means that he's still 0-2, and yeah, this is not the debut game that you want because your arrows are on point. It's just really your enemies outplaying them.
We've seen him play already, thankfully. So, actually, not even thankfully, because he can't even use that as an excuse. But it's still a pretty difficult position for him to be put in. At the end of the day, he's going up against a world champion that took that first set victory over FPX. So now FPX has that 1 loss to their name in the summer split. Now, just as a small reminder for you new viewers out there, FPX did secure playoffs. So they're already in. It's going to be on Invictus Gaming that tries to solidify that. And also for Team WE to at least have some faith, some hope to be able to accomplish that, to get to that point. Because in Spring Split, although they were kind of thrown out of the playoffs in the first round, they were a team that was heavily favored to make it the distance to that FPX match. And sadly, it was JDG that ended up making that run for them.
And not to harp on too much about the past, but it was primarily due to the fact that JD Gaming just got a really nice read onto them. It wasn't really their play lacking in any sense. So WE still being able.
All in coming through from beishang, ends up dying. TheShy is already gone, but a great response coming from Invictus Gaming. Oh, are they able to take the kill? Yes, they will. That's both the Qiyana and the Tahm Kench down. beishang's gonna die very soon too. Yep, get out of here. And it's gonna be, that's actually just a clean ace.
Nice.
Out of nowhere. IG take the fight and Team WE gets slaughtered.
Such great replay potential from IG as well. WE go for the engage, and it works out so well for them. But now, picking up a clean ace, they can now take a dragon for absolutely free, while the rest of the members on IG barrel down that mid turret.
It was crazy to see that. It was TheShy that got killed early. Just a lot of return damage coming through from Rookie and JakeyLove that made Team WE recognize pretty late. They need to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, you hate to see it. I mean, usually people focus on Karma, but that's in the ban phase, not necessarily in the engage potential and the engage target. But we're going to see it again. They want to take down this Karma because they know the advantages they can get. Actually gets the engage down onto Rookie. However, watch Ning, because it is his re-engage with his ultimate that locks down multiple members. And from that point onwards, the front line is in the back line. Who even knows what's going on? Nobody's tanking it up in beishang.
Beautiful four-man Cataclysm coming through. And at the end of the day, even though Ash was spit outside of the cage, still gets chased down. Great team fight coming in from Invictus Gaming.
That was it. The re-engage potential. MVP Ning in that very last fight. And it usually goes down to Ning because it's either you win the game or you lose it based on him. But 3-0-6, it looks like he's going very well this game.
Yeah, I think very recently, I would say, consistency has been by his side.
Yeah.
For quite some time, he's been that kind of a player that just realizes his position, his goal is to be able to start the fight. Knows that he has the players around him that will thrive in the early portion of the game, but that hasn't been the case, really since MSI. And so finally finding that once again, he's been playing incredibly well, especially in this game. And I would say even for Rookie, that last fight, he's been down throughout this game. That one brought him right back into it. Great package for him at the very beginning because he was focused down. Packages right out, so it started to create some confusion from Team WE who their next point of focus was going to be.
That's it. Even the fact that he has now got 3-3, which is a very respectable scoreline when he was very heavily camped by Post coming down towards the mid lane.
Look at this, though.
Oh, okay.
Don't want to be too close. 3 members there from Team WE, and Gragas is all alone. They don't know that, though. That's how little vision that Team WE have on this side of the map. They recognize that they're firmly in the mid lane. Don't know who's right next to Baolan. Baolan, who has no flash, by the way. So that's the concern that you have here from Invictus Gaming. A point that Team WE can look back at and say, hey, we actually could have found a few points of engage here.
Exploiting the psychology. Going in as Baolan is usually one of the points that WE have to watch for because his ultimate can displace the carries right into the front line. So IG capitalize on that and get some wards down. Now, of course, it's cleared out for themselves, Raz. However, the fact that they managed to push so heavily down, especially with that control ward, secures the Baron for themselves.
3K goal lead there for Invictus Gaming. The next dragon is going to be the Infernal in 2 minutes' time, but if you're looking at the items, I'm pretty happy with what Rookie and JakeyLove has for themselves. Even the QSS, just in case the Sejuani ends up finding him. So pretty happy with Invictus Gaming. What does Team WE have to do to get themselves back into this?
I mean, it's also the Ashe ulti as well. So really, the Sejuani and the Ashe have to time their ultimates in tandem, or else the QSS just completely disables their engage. So it's going to be tricky. However, if they can pull it off, then they can easily find it.
Ashe ultimate goes awry, but they still find Baolan, may be able to get the kill, but missing is actually incredibly low. This could be a great comeback here from Invictus Gaming. Not only do they get the kill on towards the Qiyana, get the Tahm Kench as well.
Oh boy.
Oh my god, is he going to survive from this one? Heals up incredibly too. Wow, alright. Karma, please. Just ban this champion.
That was almost a clean sweep by IG as well. Of course, Baolan falls in the process, but being a support, that's his job, and they turn their eyes towards the Baron. Only Post available and no ulti.
A fairly chaotic fight on that one, but a fight that Invictus Gaming will look at and say, of course we were confident in that situation. Karma eating up, what, 2 to 3 members?
Yep.
Their time. Valuable time that he was able to not only heal back up with his empowered W, I mean, at the end of the day, he still survives on that one too, so he wasn't even a sacrificial lamb.
Everybody knows the story of don't chase a Singe, but also you shouldn't be focusing on the Karma unless you're an assassin who can 100-0 her. Her W came up so strong in that last team fight to just lock down the times of his enemies, really constantly healing himself up.
All right, just after that fight too, you take a look at the items. Ezreal's doing well for himself, has upgraded his QSS. Take a look at the Ashe ultimate, just outright misses, we saw it. That was actually a nice dodge coming in from Baolan. So Baolan took a lot of damage here, but take a look at how large that ultimate Q from TheShy was, chunking out and missing.
Yeah.
And then he, I mean that was just Sejuani missing her ultimate outright, so that was unfortunate. That wasn't even a duck and dodge from TheShy. And then he heals right back up. Buys more time for IG to catch up and help out the rest of the team.
Yeah, they thought that TheShy would walk closer to the turret, but instead he walks away from it, dodges out the Sedge ulti, and nothing hitting means that he just gets to restore his HP.
It's hard for Team WE. You're in Xi'an, hometown favorites, but IG is looking to finish this one. They're going for an all-in. It's beishang who's left in, but he flashes right out. A lot of damage being placed down to JakeyLove and Ning as well. Team WE can go for this fight.
However, IG, they look like they want to back out and not a lot of re-engage potential. Ming already used his ultimate, so they can't chase it any further.
Right back in. The Ocean Dragon is paying its respects there, but Qiyana's found his first kill, ends up dying as a result. That was a nice kill on JakeyLove, but a sacrifice that xiye really shouldn't be taking.
Yeah, shouldn't be going for the 1-for-1s, and Ning re-engage.
It just keeps happening, but Team WE, they're going to keep fighting until a very bitter end. Sadly, that bitter end is far too soon. Invictus Gaming take the fight, they take the inhibitor, and they're looking for the game.
That was so well played by IG. They knew exactly when to re-engage, especially when WE were going back to base.
All right, that's looking like the first game for Invictus Gaming in the best of 3. Team WE, they fought back, but all too soon did Invictus Game just shut it down.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even hate the draft coming out from WE. They had really good tools for success. It was just the execution and being outplayed by IG time and time again. That was really the downfall that allowed IG to pick up the victory.
For me, if you take a step back and you look at how Team WE played out the early portions of the game, very clearly was there a difference in the AD carry position. You know, not only was the laning phase not panning out, getting shoved out of lane numerous times, ultimately weren't setting up for great Ashe arrows, so wasn't effective during the team fights. That's how life ends up turning out, but he was a good effort coming in from Ming. At the end of the day, Invictus Gaming come in strong. It was a pretty back and forth game for the most part, but when the crucial fights happened, it was IG cleaning them up.
That was it, and it really was instigated by Ning as well. I mean, Ning just did so much in this game, combined between saving his backline and also just re-engaging with his ultimate. His first one and also his last one are most notable just because they locked up the key members on WE, forced to flash, if not a kill.
Who you got as MVP this time round for IG?
Oh, I've got to give it over to Ning just because of his EQs, I should say.
His flag and drags were definitely a way they were able to get into the fight. His Cataclysm landing 4 members in the mid lane team fight. Also just flatly put in the 2v2s happening through mid, being able to bide time, have Ezreal and the Gragas come and help out. So they ended up giving that early kill towards JakeyLove. JakeyLove had 2 kills early on in this game, not because of just Geomung's mistakes, but also great calling coming in from the jungle position. Yeah,
and also just the fact that he constantly went forward as well. Maybe not respecting his lane opponent, but it looked well for him anyway because he managed to get the first blood after that E forward in the lane. So all in all, you have to say that. But even more to the point, if you have to say one player was really resilient throughout this game, it's Rookie, because he went 0-2. Yes. He was heavily punished, especially from post roaming down, but he managed to rebound to an 8-3 because he just didn't care, and the return kills from Ning looked so good.
He farmed up incredibly well. Yeah. That was something that, you know, you don't get to expect, especially when there were the resources that you were talking about. Not only was Rumble spending the time to roam from top side to the mid lane, but also 2 ultimates consistently used to be able to get the kill on towards the Corki. So sad from Rookie initially on, but you're right, was able to buckle down, recognize that the team fights, the ways they were going to be coming back into the game, when was especially in that mid lane team fight, a huge asset
Yeah, so speaking about buckling down and getting back in, I want to look on the other side, Raz, because when you take a look at WE, they had so many good tools, it just came down to execution about why they couldn't quite hit their mark. I mean, when you think about the major ultimates missing, it is Juming's, but it is also Beishang's, because you remember that crucial ulti onto TheShy didn't hit its mark. If it did, and if the Ashes did as well, all of that could have actually turned the favor.
We'll see if the execution gets a little bit cleaner as we will now go to a break and look towards Game 2 from Team WE versus Invictus Gaming.